Feel like this is a little too high. Yes, this is good. Welcome to my live. I'm Korra Obidi. I sing, I dance, I make beautiful music. I have a new song out titled Moist. I realized today that I did not talk about anything concerning my word for today. Every Sunday, I have a word for today from the spirit, from my ancestors. So, you guys, I listen to the omens and I deliver as I should to you guys. But I realized that I didn't have anyone for you today because I've just been engrossed in being a mom. But now I dropped off my kids and I have my word for today. And this is for somebody. Whoever this is for, God really loves you and He made sure that I say this before the end of the day. So listen up, okay? So, you know how the concept of ownership in the real world, ownership is now an illusion. Guys, remember when I was going to buy my car and the car salesman, you guys were there, right? Was trying to get me to rent the car, trying to get me to rent, not buy, not own, rent. Oh, why don't you just rent? Why don't you just rent? Because you see, this, you're gonna spend less, rent. We spend our money and we have nothing to show for it. Everything is now sold as a service versus sold, period. Back in the day, when you buy a car, you buy a car. It's yours. You give it to your son gives it to your son, and there's a 1916 Buick in the family because you own it. My house is very dirty, so come with me as we arrange and we talk about this. Well, let me draw my eyebrows because right now I have no eyebrows. The whole concept of ownership now in the new world is so scarce. Everybody is trying to not part ways with ownership. Back in the day, when you wanted to buy my music, you will buy a CD, and whenever you want it in your life, you can play it. You can play my music whenever you want it. You put it in your VCR, and you have the song for life. Now everything is sold in a service. Most of you don't even buy my music anymore. You don't even go on Apple Music or Amazon Music to own my music. You just pay for the music service, and as long as you're paying for the service, you have access to my music. What happens when you don't pay for the service? You're not going to have access to the music that you love. Everything is now sold as a service versus the real deal, just owning. The entire concept of a mortgage, even borrowing to own, my mortgage, you guys know, was $1.6 million. And I just did the math, right? What I pay in interest per year of having that loan is over $40,000 just to be able to, not even paying towards the loan, the interest per year of just securing that loan. Now, when you have your money in the past and you have $600,000 in the bank, you can go to a homeowner and say, hey, I want to buy your house as it is for $550,000. Here, cash. We don't need any mortgage. We don't need any real. This is an in-person transaction, and you give a bill of sale, and boom, the sale is guaranteed and it's final, and that's that about that. But in the modern day, everybody is loaning. The concept of ownership is not owned by you. Nothing is owned by you. So now I want to talk about ownership. I want you to think about your life and everything that you hold dear and make sure that you own that shit. Okay? I want you to look around you and whatever you're paying for as a service, but you need to be the owner of that. Go ahead and buy that so you can always have that. Okay? I know this might be all like, oh, Korra has come with her deep nonsense again, but trust and believe. Ownership is the future in this world. Ownership is the future. No one is parting ways with their ownership anymore. Everyone is trying to rent it to you, trying to loan it to you, trying to make you to pay for a subscription service for it. Nobody is selling outrightly anymore. Your duty is to own now. Ownership over the flashiness of a beautiful car that you're paying a service fee of. Pay the taxes. Pay the taxes of the ownership. Guess what? You still pay the taxes for renting. You pay the taxes in everything you do in life. Every expenditure, there's a tax. Might as well pay the taxes for owning. Ownership is not given anymore. It's not given anymore. I don't know who needed to hear this, but before you jump into that rent, before you jump into that rental situation, that service situation, that sketchy looking situation with your house, and you have the money, own. Okay? I'm paying mortgage, but I wish I was paying mortgage. I wish I was paying my mortgage. What I'm paying right now is interest on my mortgage. The interest per year on my loan is over $40,000. Only interest, nothing going to the principal. Nothing going to the principal. Own. Own, 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 own. Okay? If I was wise during the time of my divorce, when everybody wanted to know, what was going on, if I was wise and used my my sense, I would have found a house by myself, found the owner of the house, bought the house straight from the owner, cash, deal with everything that I need to do in the house. Instead of going to take a mortgage that I have to pay interest of $43,000 a year. Only interest. Nothing is going to my principal. Nothing is going to my loan, actually. Nothing actually is going into the loan itself. I come from a country where if you want something, you pay for it outrightly. You buy it cash. Just buy it cash. So the whole concept of credit and borrowing in this society, it's a different one for me. I have to learn. I have to unpack a lot of things that I've learned from, being a Nigerian and coming into a new system. I have to unpack a lot of things in order to survive here. If I sell it and I do not invest the money into a new property, I will be taxed heavily. I will be taxed heavily. Nothing is going to my principal. That is the concept of borrowing. That's the concept of service. Loans, rent, services. You don't own it. Today, go and buy that my song you love so much. Go and buy it. Don't just wait till it's up on Spotify or Apple Music. Buy it on Amazon Music. Own it so that you can click it on your computer and listen whenever you want. Whenever you want. Ownership in the new world is the most it's like the foxes, the cunning foxes are doing everything that they can to make sure people don't own anything. Own. Own, 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 own. I remember when I was going to buy my car and the guy kept saying, why don't you rent? Why don't you rent? And I remembered the energy he was trying to make me rent. By all means. Rent by all means. There are these little houses that they're selling. Little houses for $30,000, $40,000. And it has a bathroom and it has a... But you own it and it's movable. It's mobile and they deliver the house and you live in it. Try and own. Ownership is very important. And that's my word for today. I hope that you guys learned a few things. For me, I come from a society where if you don't own, you don't own. If you don't have your car, you don't have your car. There are very few trusted credit situations, and everybody that owns something bought it. You know what I mean? But here it's like, oh, well, I drive a Tesla Cybertruck, but I mean, like, I just paid $500 a month, you know, and like I have a car note of $700, and then the Tesla is $500. That makes it $1,200 per month for me to drive my Tesla. And the moment I don't have that 1,200, I don't have a car. And you've been driving this Tesla for 3 years. 1,000 times 12, 12,000 times 3, 36,000 every month. And you still don't own a car. The day you can afford that 1,000, it's no longer your car. Sad. Own. 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 Ownership is what is going to separate the grain from the chaff very soon. The people who own land, the people who own things, who own buildings, who own houses. I'm getting hot till I fade out. I miss my girls already. I don't know what to do with myself. What should I do with myself? Can try to do some laundry. I have a ton of laundry. I have a ton of cleaning to do. How about you? How was your day? How was your day? Was good? Suzette Brakely says, when we first bought our home, we didn't have a huge down payment. We increased our payments and put it towards our principal to decrease the amount of interest we paid. We paid our home off early. There are many strategies towards doing that. Many strategies. But financial literacy in America is very, very different from any other country. The whole concept of mortgages and homes, you need to literally You need to do a lot to understand it. And if you're not smart, you fall into a situation that is not good. So we move. You're half Jamaican and half American. Fashion Joy says, I'm quite impressed with you, Korra. You know a lot. Do I? I know nothing. Every day I'm learning. I know absolutely nothing, my queen. Every day I try to learn something new. And I just wanted to come here and drop my nuggets for the person who needed it. In case you're tempted to do that rent or that nonsense you're about to put yourself in, remember to own. Click on my name to buy me a coffee, because I just delivered the message directly from the ancestors. Was. Own. Do not rent. Suffer now. Enjoy later. Own. Okay? Own. Don't rent. Don't pay for a service. Don't do all these things. It sounds so good and easier now, but then in the long term, you're spending your money, but you own nothing. Make sure that you own. Ownership is the future. I love you. Have a beautiful night.